God says, paying attention on this woman because they are noticing your every move. We rush from one task to the next, barely pausing to catch our breath. But amidst the chaos, there's a voice whispering to us, urging us to pay attention. It's the voice of God, speaking through the subtle interactions of everyday life. God sees everything, knows everything, and cares about every detail of our lives. And there are moments when His presence feels especially palpable. Like when we encounter a certain person who seems to capture our attention in a way that's hard to explain. Perhaps it's the woman sitting alone at the coffee shop, lost in thought as she sips her latte. Or maybe it's the stranger on the bus whose eyes meet ours for just a moment before we look away, feeling strangely unsettled. These encounters may seem insignificant at first, but God is urging us to pay attention because He's orchestrating something far greater than we can imagine. Take the story of Sarah, a young woman who found herself drawn to a homeless man she passed by every day on her way to work. At first, she barely noticed him, just another face in the crowd of city streets. But something about him tugged at her heartstrings, prompting her to stop and offer him a sandwich one cold winter morning. As they talked, Sarah learned that his name was David, and he had fallen on hard times after losing his job and home. Despite his circumstances, there was a light in his eyes that spoke of resilience and hope. Sarah felt compelled to help him, and over the following weeks, she began bringing him warm meals and blankets, listening to his stories with an open heart. Little did Sarah know, God was using her kindness to work miracles in David's life. Through her friendship, he found the courage to seek help and eventually turned his life around, finding a job and a place to live. Their chance encounter on the street had blossomed into a life-changing connection, all because Sarah had listened to the voice of God urging her to pay attention. But paying attention isn't always easy, especially in a world that bombards us with distractions at every turn. We're constantly plugged into our devices, scrolling through endless streams of information without truly seeing the world around us. It's no wonder we often miss the subtle signs that God is trying to communicate with us. Yet, if we take a moment to unplug and open our hearts to the world around us, we may be surprised by what we find. God speaks to us through the beauty of nature, the kindness of strangers, and the quiet whispers of our own intuition. He uses ordinary moments to reveal extraordinary truths if only we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Consider the story of Mark, a businessman who spent his days chasing success in the cutthroat world of corporate finance. He was always on the go, flying from one meeting to the next, never stopping to rest or reflect. But one day, as he sat in yet another boardroom presentation, he felt a sudden urge to step outside and take a walk. As he wandered through the city streets, Mark found himself drawn to a nearby park, where he stumbled upon a group of children playing soccer. Their laughter echoed through the air, filling him with a sense of joy he hadn't felt in years. At that moment, he realized how much he had been missing by focusing solely on his career. God was speaking to Mark through the innocence of those children, reminding him of the importance of slowing down and savoring the simple pleasures of life. From that day forward, Mark made a conscious effort to prioritize his relationships and find balance in his work and personal life. And in doing so, he discovered a deeper sense of fulfillment than he ever thought possible. The key to hearing God's voice lies in cultivating a spirit of mindfulness and awareness in our daily lives. It means being present in the moment, fully engaged with the world around us, and attuned to the subtle nudges of our innermost being. It requires us to set aside our preconceived notions and expectations, allowing God to work in mysterious and unexpected ways. But paying attention doesn't mean we have to abandon our responsibilities or retreat from the world. On the contrary, it means embracing our role as active participants in God's divine plan, using our talents and gifts to make a positive impact on the world around us. Take the story of Maria, a single mother struggling to make ends meet while raising her 2 young children. Despite the challenges she faced, Maria remained steadfast in her faith, trusting that God would provide for her family's needs. And sure enough, help arrived in the most unexpected of ways. One day, as Maria was shopping for groceries, she struck up a conversation with a stranger in line behind her. They talked about their shared love of cooking, and before she knew it, Maria had been invited to join a local cooking club. Through her newfound connections, she was able to network with others in her community and eventually found a job as a chef at a nearby restaurant. God had used that chance encounter to open doors for Maria, providing her with the opportunity she needed to support her family and pursue her passion for cooking. It was a reminder that He is always watching over us, guiding us along the path that leads to fulfillment and abundance. In a world filled with noise and chaos, it can be easy to overlook the quiet whispers of God's voice. But if we take the time to slow down, listen, and pay attention, we'll find that He is speaking to us in every moment, guiding us toward a life of purpose, meaning, and joy. God's whispers are not confined to grand gestures or dramatic displays. Often, they come in the form of small, seemingly insignificant moments that carry profound meaning for those who are attuned to His presence. Consider the story of Emily, a young woman grappling with feelings of doubt and uncertainty about her future. She had spent years pursuing a career in law, only to find herself questioning whether it was truly the path meant for her. As she sat in her office one evening, poring over case files and legal briefs, a sense of unease washed over her. In that moment of vulnerability, Emily felt a sudden urge to step outside and clear her mind. She wandered aimlessly through the city streets until she found herself standing before a bookstore she had never noticed before. Intrigued, she pushed open the door and stepped inside, instantly enveloped in the warm embrace of the familiar scent of old books and ink. As she browsed the shelves, a title caught her eye, The Power of Purpose. Drawn to the book's promise of finding meaning and direction in life, Emily purchased it without hesitation. Little did she know, that simple act of curiosity would set her on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. Over the following weeks, Emily devoured the book's pages, absorbing its wisdom and insights with an open heart. She began to question her assumptions about success and fulfillment, realizing that true happiness couldn't be found in external achievements alone. Inspired by the book's message, she made the bold decision to leave her legal career behind and pursue her true passion for writing. So the next time you find yourself drawn to a stranger on the street or moved by the beauty of nature, take a moment to pause and listen. God may be speaking to you in that very moment, urging you to pay attention and follow the path He has laid out for you. And if you listen closely, you'll discover that His whispers are everywhere, guiding you toward a life of purpose, meaning, and joy. Insert. After each and every sentence,